Hey guys, welcome to Bipolar Boxing Picks. This is Nick. We got the Day of Reckoning, Danny Dubois versus Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Man, who can't love Big Baby Miller talking all that shit, hyping this fight up? I love it, man. I love it. I don't agree with pretty much anything he's saying about AJ, Eddie Hearn, Dubois. I don't listen to all the people that think Dubois is a quitter. I'm not that guy. So this fight's very easy for me, and it's just I think Daniel Dubois knocks this guy out in probably like 7 or 8 rounds. Big Baby Miller, there's a lot of people. I see a lot of people picking Big Baby Miller to win this fight outright. I mean, he's like a 2.5 to 1 underdog or whatever. To me, I think those are good odds because the thing is with Dubois, like he's still a very young fighter. I believe he's 26 years old. I mean, so those losses that he took, the broken orbital bone, he was like 23 years old when that happened. I mean, yeah, you should not be getting caught by Joe Joyce. We all saw Joyce get exposed in his last few fights. But yeah, you shouldn't be getting hit that much by that slow, stiff Joe Joyce. But he did, and I got no problems with him, taking a knee and quitting in that fight. If you want to call it quitting. That's what he did, but I think it was a very smart. That's what you do when you're 23 years old. He wouldn't do that if he was 30, or 35, I don't think. But he's not. He's 23 years old, so he made that decision. It's a business decision, and I'm okay with him making it because those are okay to make as long as you make it up on the back end. So that's what he's trying to do now. As long as he beats Big Baby Miller, like, what are all those people going to say that he quits under pressure? Big Baby Miller is going to be putting pressure on him tonight. So that's what a lot of those people, anybody who's calling Dubois a quitter and you really think he's not mentally tough, you better throw all your money on Big Baby Miller because Big Baby Miller is he's a giant. He's probably going to come in 330 pounds for this fight. And he's a giant and he comes forward. He's got a very aggressive style. The reason I don't rate him that high, especially now, is because when he got popped for juicing, like that's when he was throwing all those punches. I saw somebody's comment the other day of like his punch ratio is one of the highest rated in the heavyweight division or whatever. I'm like, yeah, he was juicing for all those years. Because I also watched another video where a guy talked about like, he was fighting on a lot of undercards. He wasn't a main event guy, so he wasn't getting drug tested. So I'm just going to go ahead and assume that for pretty much his whole career, he's been on steroids until he got caught. And steroids don't build muscle for people. They help people recover. And so you can recover from punches a lot easier. You can throw a lot more. You got more stamina on all that stuff. So like you take all that away from him and it's hard to tell because his last 5 opponents or so have been absolute shit. I mean, Lucas Brown was his last fight and he was getting caught in that fight. So, I mean, if Lucas Brown's hitting him with punches, like, what do you think Daniel Dubois is going to do to him? Like I said, I think the only people that are picking Big Baby Miller are the ones that just don't like Daniel Dubois. Like, the people that'll be picking Otto Wallin, they just don't like AJ. The people that'll be picking Joseph Parker just don't like Deontay Wilder. I mean, I see pretty much every fight on this card as being pretty straightforward. I mean, it's heavyweight boxing. Anything can happen, but I think every single fight on this card is pretty straightforward, and I'm not going to sit there and change my mind about Danny Dubois with an unproven fighter in Jarrell Miller, who's also, I believe, like 7, 8, or 9 years older than Dubois. I just don't see it. I don't see it. He's also like, I actually like that body type. I don't like the muscled up body type for the heavyweight division because more muscles, you're going to have less stamina. And that's not good because this fight could go some rounds. And if it goes some rounds, but Big Baby, he's so big. I mean, you come in 330 pounds, it's going to be hard to have some stamina in there because, yeah, you got a lot of fat on you, but he's also got a lot of muscle. So I think Big Baby Miller will run out of gas eventually. And so I'm going to say like Dubois knocks him out in 6 rounds. And I think there's gonna be a lot of knockouts on this card because there's gonna be a lot of eyes on this whole card, and there's a lot of opportunities for all these fighters, to get knockouts and get eyes on them, grow a fan base. So we'll see what happens, but like I said, pretty straightforward. Danny Dubois knocks this guy out. That aggressive style he'll have with him, but he doesn't throw as much as he used to when he was on steroids. So that's my whole thing. Like people that are going through and like usually I'll watch like his last 5 fights, all the highlights, for a fight like this, Big Baby Miller, and that's what I did. And he does not look that good. Now you watch his whole career highlights; he looks like a completely different fighter when he was on steroids. It's just that simple. Before the AJ fight, those fights are way different. He's throwing a lot of punches. He's moving different. Whatever. He's not doing that anymore. And he got older. So he got older, and you took the steroids away from him, and he's fighting the hardest opponent of his career. It just doesn't add up for me. Now he's got the same thing like Otto Wallin does. Like we haven't really seen him in there with top competition. Like Wallin's been in there with Fury, but I'm not even gonna count that because Fury's so fucking good. But I mean, Big Baby Miller's been in there with nobody. Like Thomas Adamek, like way past his prime, like that's nobody. Lucas Brown, like that's nobody. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, well, remember in the Lucas Brown fight? Like, Lucas Brown's not Daniel Dubois, so I don't care what happened in that fight. And he got chinned a few times in that fight. So, like, I just think Dubois is going to knock this guy out. And but Big Baby Miller is going to bring it. He's going to make this fight exciting. This will be the most exciting fight on the card, in my opinion. It'll be more exciting than the Wilder, unless Wilder gets that highlight reel KO. But, yeah, let's just go with Dubois, 5.5 rounds. So, like I said, a lot of knockouts on this card, but let me know who you guys think is going to win, and let me know what you guys think Danny Dubois should do next from here. If he loses, guys, yeah, he's probably done. But that's another reason I like him. Like, they wouldn't pick a guy like Big Baby Miller. Danny Dubois picked Baby Miller for a reason, and he knows he can't lose another fight for at least another 2 or 3 years because his career will be done. But like I said, the kid's only 26 years old. He's not going to fight guys that he's going to lose to. It's almost like the Ryan Garcia thing where, like, his last fight, everyone was like, dude, this Duarte guy just comes forward. He could catch Ryan. Ryan's not mentally strong. We all saw what happened there. Duarte didn't belong in the same ring as Ryan Garcia. So I see a very similar thing happening here where Dubois is better in every aspect of boxing than Big Baby Miller, outside of, you could say his chin, but Big Baby Miller is also not getting hit by Joe Joyce. He's getting hit by an old Lucas Brown and Thomas Adamek, who weighs like 210 pounds. So, yeah, enjoy the fights, guys, and have a good night.